Welcome to self-discoverywisdom.com, formerly known as Self-Discovery Media. On these podcasts, you're going to hear people who speak from the heart. They've taken the journey in life. Many things have happened to them, but they've changed it to happening for them. And in their strength, their courage, they've discovered their abilities and their wisdom, and they are now sharing it here with you. Do enjoy each show. We bring it to you with love and knowing that it's going to help you on your journey of life. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of Quantum Spirituality right here on selfdiscoverywisdom.com. I'm your host, Sarah Troy, and my guest all the way from the UK today is Irina Vucheva. I hope I am pronouncing that correctly. We're going to be talking about healing, the healing of yourself today, and how we can go about it. She said that she grew up with a lot of anxiety after her parents' divorce at the age of 7. She struggled with low confidence and difficult puberty, and she knew something was wrong, but had no idea what it was. She needed to share the knowledge of the good always wins. And she's not saying that in a Christian or rather there's a feminine warrior that she needed to be. She's here to teach people how to heal differently in the serious conditions that they're in, to make them listen to their own bodies, and most of all, understand that our ancestors are behind us, and many of our life questions are at our disposal. And indeed, they are limitless. She was born in a normal family, two people that were destined to be together. Her parents divorced when she was 7, but her breaking point came when her stepfather, when her mother remarried, locked her mother out of their business, emptied their bank accounts, seized their home and properties, and left them destitute. They discovered criminal connections behind the misfortune, and in a matter of weeks, the stress and the trauma revealed stomach cancer in Irina's mother. It was during this difficult time that Irina's remarkable healing and intuitive abilities emerged. Following this decade, she marked her relentless campaign of hate from a house who had taken her wealth, a campaign to haunt her family for a lifetime. And then this time, she went through a near-death experience too, that when she saw the light that we often hear about. She took a dramatic turn within 6 months of her son underwent open heart surgery, and her story is one of resilience, transformation, and becoming a master interpreter for the less fortunate and a holistic healer. Well, I'm always saying that we get various things happen to us in life, and that is for us, it's a life lesson. Everything that happens to us is a lesson, and what are we going to do about it? And we can kind of go down the pit of hate and sorrow and why me, or we can, after we've licked our wounds, look at and go, well, what am I going to do about it? And to have the rug pulled from underneath you, everything, and especially done in a way that it's hard to fight back, with the stepfather and everything that went on. It's just that it's sometimes you just look at it and go, okay, all right, you've given me a rocky road. How do I stabilize it? But stepping into that wonderful divine spirit that's there to guide you at a young age has certainly been a gift that's been your guiding compass along the way, hasn't it? Welcome to the show, love.
Thank you so much, Sarah. It's a lovely opportunity to be here on the show with you. And I feel delighted to be able to share everything that I have been going through and what the Spirit has led me to be able to just introduce to other people as my way and as moving along the path where it was, as you said, quite difficult to even exist and move on, surrounded by such hardships. I believe that coming out on the other side is the best. It's actually like not just winning a battle, it's winning for your life.
Mm-hmm. It's as they call it, the divine is the compass, right, that guides us forward. And when we tap into that, we go, okay, all right, we're in for a bumpy ride for the next stage, but I know you're leading me in the right direction.
Exactly. Exactly. But it doesn't always feel like that, does it?
No, it's like the bumps are a little bit too big.
Yeah. Most of the time, it will require from you to have a really strong, um, not just character, but I would say strong heart and just positive thinking moving forward.
Mm. You know, I mean, you've obviously been through it, you know, with your mum. Did she
Mhm.
recover from her cancer?
Yes, thanks for
Good.
the Lord.
Yes. So, you know,
Thanks
there
for the
is
Lord.
that faith, and it's God, universe, spirit, source, energy, whatever you wish to call it. It's just a higher, beautiful consciousness that when we tap into it is there. And there is always the healing of ourselves. You
Yes,
know, and trauma, especially when it's done in such a deceitful way, when you feel powerless, you know, someone you trusted has done such a deceitful thing, you know, that kind of trauma can be, you know, really cellular and stay with you for a long time. And I would say that, you know, and it's kind of scientifically been proven that cancer is at least 80% trauma and 20% environmental. And so when you can recognize that trauma and release the trauma, it doesn't mean you know, you're releasing the pain of the trauma. You're not forgetting it, you're not burying it, you're facing it, all right? And you're
definitely.
releasing the pain and the anguish attached with it.
Yes, and actually the release doesn't come straightforward. Like most people struggling and being in pain, they imagine that it's just one simple session or just one simple act. Sometimes it might take longer because we are very different as nature and as individuals, and everybody processes their not just traumas but their reality differently depending on the level of their consciousness they're currently in. And it doesn't mean that if they have been in that state for, let's say, 10 years, that
Hmm.
they're going to be living for life with certain diagnosis or certain situationship or what they're dealing with at the moment. And you're right, when it comes to a trauma, especially connected with betrayal, um, it has to do a lot with the heart coherence and the brain coherence, which we know a lot about from the Heart Institute. Um, there is a such thing called, like they say, this situation broke my heart.
Hmm.
And although it doesn't physically break,
Yes.
the break is so big. And I'm actually having shivers by talking about it at the moment, that it's very hard for people to just overcome that break
Yeah.
because you're trying to work with the wound that could be so deep that most of the times we as people are even afraid to look at it
Yes.
because of
Yes.
that terrible pain that we don't want to ever experience again.
Mm. But, you know, there is no avoidance. Resistance is futile. We have to go through it in order to heal. We have to face
Exactly,
it. And it doesn't mean you have to relive the pain, but you have to look at the pain as you said, like a warrior, you know, like,
exactly.
you know,
And it could be quite painful to look at it,
mhm,
but that I believe as a feminine warrior, that's why I'm saying warrior comes the strength within us as human beings and especially as women, where we have that power of assessing
mhm,
and moving through that pain, transmuting it, of course, with the right tools, with the
yeah,
right mindset, with the right thinking, with the right steps taken further, and everything that has to do with us just being able to just live our life in the best possible way, not to live in the past, not to
yes,
live in the future, but
mm,
be present here and now. And that's what I used to do for a long time. I used to be really living either in the past,
mhm,
like feeling really defeated, literally quite pressed, I would say, without any will and dreams for life,
mhm,
and just dead end, like we say,
yes.
finding
Well,
yourself in a dead end.
what kind of become the walking dead, right? Because you're so numb.
Yes,
Right? You
yes,
can't see the future. You know, the past has consumed you. There is no present because your past is too much in the way. And, you know, it's how to
yes.
be present during that time and look at your past and go, you belong over there. Right?
And sometimes we disassociate so much from
Mm,
our true self because of that wounding that it takes us, for some people, years to just come back to their true self, where they can look at what they have been through, look at that pain, like we said, and move further and really work with themselves, because it comes with the power of God and through God's frequency, we can come on the other side very easily. And it might sound like a utopia, like some people say, oh, it's just an utopia, it doesn't happen in this life. Oh, it actually does.
Yes.
It actually does. We can heal and we can have an amazing opportunity every day. Yesterday, we could have been different from today with 360 degrees from what our character was yesterday up to today, 24 hours later. It just depends on our own consciousness and assessing, because it's a frequency that's available for everyone. We just don't know how to assess it.
Right.
And there is a way to do that.
Always a way to do that. It's all of these things that come, to get us, so to speak. They're out to get us, and all it is to show you your strength, your courage, your abilities that you never knew you had, and discovery of yourself. Right? I mean, this self-discovery journey is something we all have to go through. And really all that the universe is doing is showing us, it doesn't matter what gets thrown at you. You are so much more than what has happened to you. Step into your strength, step into your abilities, find your courage, become the person you are meant to be. All this is here to do is to show you how strong you really are in order to overcome.
Yeah, step into your power kind of way, because God has given all of us authority, where we can actually direct them. Like you say, self-discovery. I'm so privileged to be on the show. I really feel flattered and I feel so happy to be on the show that I don't know if I'm expressing it like if it shows, but I'm actually a bit nervous because I've been expecting this.
Just be yourself.
Speak.
That's all I require people to do. Come from the heart and you'll believe. That's it.
Yeah, I'm a bit. I just because I wanted to express it as it truly is. Self-discovery is so important. But sometimes we tend to become delusional because we don't want to see, like I said, certain aspects or certain fragments from our soul that have been really not in the right place for a long time.
Yes.
Just to avoid looking at that pain which we carry around in our bodies. And it's amazing. I would like to share on the show, in my work with clients, when I do the readings and when we do the healings, actually they don't speak. The body speaks.
Yes. Oh boy, does that have a lot to say.
Yes.
The
Yes,
body
I
has
have
so
literally
much to say,
shivers.
cellular level right down to the very core. The body has a lot to say. And so often we're so in our heads, we're not listening to our body.
Yes. In our bodies, there are so many emotions on a daily level that sometimes we don't really know that there is a specific emotion connecting with a specific situation or a specific person that we have unresolved or that we have kept inside, suppressed. And then we wonder, what is our body trying to tell us? Sometimes, if not all of the times, the body speaks to us, but we don't understand. So my work is, as many others in the quantum healing, we come to be the translators in a way of what is really going on and what needs to be looked at in a loving, compassionate, and self-fulfilling way. Because we're not here to compete. We're here to be.
Compete or compare. We're not here to
Or
do
compare,
that.
yeah.
No,
Or
no,
compare.
two C's out.
Yes, yes. It is amazing. Even when because sometimes I happen to have lots of downloads coming, and they are quite strong when it comes to different processes that are happening in the world arena, or just spiritual things. And when I have these downloads, sometimes it's difficult because they can be quite intense. And it is, for me as a healer, sometimes it's not like I'm any difficult than other people. For us as well, it takes time to embody and put those codes or downloads that we're receiving into practice and into work.
Yes.
What I'm here to say to many people, and I would like to use that opportunity, is that with our thoughts and with our actions, we are so powerful. And when I'm saying this, I'm saying it so I can hear myself as well. We are so powerful to create the reality that we want.
Yeah.
It's beyond our imagination. And
Yes.
this is one of our powers which can take us to the destination or to the place where we want to be. Let's say if it's to let's say get that job, marry that person, have a nice house, go and have our like the dream trip, or anything that we really want to achieve in life and we want to have as people. It comes down to the inside work that we do from inside towards outside. It's not the other way around. It
Absolutely
took
not.
me some time to understand that because I was focusing on the outside. But if it's not flowing from inside, then it's not going to show on the outside as well.
Never. Inside poor. It doesn't matter how rich you think you are on the outside. If the inside is poor, you're poor, right?
Yeah,
When the
exactly.
inside is enriched, that
Yes,
enrichment is in abundance on the outside, right? So everything comes from
exactly.
the inside out. Nothing you do on the outside, unless it's serving the inside, is going to
Exactly.
please you or make you happy. It is the inside job where you align your soul, your heart, your spirit, your mind and body as one, and you allow those downloads, which I call the wisdom that downloads into your soul and it gives it to your heart in truth. Your spirit then gets into action for your mind to know what it needs to know when it needs to know it. This little noggin up here is data,
Right.
it's information, right? But very
Yes,
often we
yes.
don't know what to do with that information. That's why we need the wisdom talk, the soul talk, to show us
Thank you.
with heart center to actually understand what to do with that knowledge.
Thank you so much actually for mentioning wisdom, because when I work in my work with different people, we talk a lot about the wisdom coming from our ancestors.
Mm-hmm.
And actually our ancestors have the knowledge that sometimes we think we miss or we don't have or that we are not wise. And it comes down again to connecting with our roots and being able to receive that power so we can work powerfully in our life.
The core generator.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
The core generator is heart-centered. And that's, where
Yes.
the wisdom comes in to know how to generate that wisdom out there. It's not only ancestral, but it is also your past life. And it is all lives that you've been before. It's also universal life. And it's like an enormous library of wisdom, the
Yes.
orchard of wisdom ready for picking. And if we are constantly chasing that knowledge on the outside and we're not being still or quiet enough to hear it on the inside, then we don't know what wisdom is relevant or prevalent to the moment, right? So
Yes.
that accessible library of knowledge is there through all those many lifetimes and ancestral and universal wisdom that's just ready for the picking or the clicking.
Thank you so much, Sarah, for actually mentioning the heart-centered wisdom, because it does actually happen through the heart.
Mhm.
And when we are working through the heart but not through the mind,
Yes.
um, there's where the real magic happens. And
And
this
and
is
a
what
lot of
we
people close their heart off when they've had a trauma. I've been hurt. I don't trust. Right? How can I
yes,
ever believe anyone again? And they shut the heart down. Well, that's, it's like switching off your generator completely, your life
exactly,
force. And now it's
exactly,
not feeding your body, it's not feeding your spirit, it's not feeding your
exactly,
soul.
exactly.
Even if your soul is feeling shattered heart is feeling shattered into a million pieces, start putting those pieces back together with self-love, right?
Well, a lot of people actually don't even know that they have shut themselves out
Yeah.
because of that pain. They don't even know that they're actually, um, acting from a place of hurt and a place of let's say, some negative emotions and being let's say less fortunate in
Yeah.
life. And me myself going through a certain thing like that in the start of my adultly life, I can say that it can feel quite um, challenging at times just to find your way back to yourself,
Yes.
to your true self, not the one that people expect to see, not the one that um, the outside world shapes, but the real you, the real qualities, the real values,
Hmm.
the real thing that you are, and not
Yeah.
to be afraid um, for the imposter syndrome to just show yourself to the world as you are, not to be judged and not to be afraid to be criticized
Mm.
and be vulnerable from what other people think about you and stop yourself from being yourself just because you might not suit and be the thing others expect.
And why are you living by somebody else's expectation? You know, the
Oh,
whole the whole thing of stepping into the essence of who you are and becoming your own light, your own beacon, is that you can't please everybody. You've raised your frequency. If people want to be with you, they have to match that frequency. You're not coming down to their level. And
yes.
really, other people's opinion of you is really none of your business because it's their opinion. You know who you are, right?
I
And you
love
don't
that.
need to be who
Yes,
you are with an apology, right?
exactly. And this is what we actually do in the Build Yourself Backup program. We really work with people where they have um, that need to just be themselves back again
Mhm.
and be their true self.
The thing is having somebody that's had that trauma, the heart is feeling shattered, you know, life and humans have let them down. The universe will
Yes.
never let them down. God loves
Oh,
will
you
never let
couldn't
them
put
down.
it right. You couldn't put it better.
Well, that's the thing is that by surrender and allow the universe to heal you, using
Exactly.
people like you who have been given the instrument, right? Who've been
Exactly.
downloading the instrument, you're helping them recalibrate the
I
psyche
love
first
that.
because you have to take care of the psyche for the psyche to help heal the body. There's no point healing the body if the psyche is still in turbulence.
You are so
So
right.
by putting the psyche and the spirit back into an equilibrium, it starts healing the body and your heart starts healing and the mind starts finding peace. But it's needing to deal with the psyche. Don't look to the outside humans to put you back together unless they are a divine human that's practicing that work. Allow them to show you how to plug yourself back in and switch yourself back on and get reconnected because then
Exactly.
the healing will start.
Exactly. And you couldn't be more right because actually, when there is a psychic wounding within
Mhm.
your subconscious, it really affects your body, affects your every outcome in your
Particle of
life.
you,
Yes. It's
every
like
bit of
you
you.
just have a backpack in your
Yes,
brain.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
That's how it is.
A heavy one,
Everyone.
and then we seek, kind of solution in all the wrong direction, and
Yes.
and
Yes.
it's so many people. I just did a show actually this week on addictions and
Mm.
or last week rather. And it is people think addiction is all drugs and alcohol, but there's addiction to power, there's addiction to people pleasing, there's addiction
Yes.
to so many things. Things that you keep repeating that are a
Yes.
detriment to you is an unhealthy addiction.
And also, this can be hereditary patterns or
Yes,
addictions from, let's say, from generations. I like to talk about that
100%. Yes.
because it influences every person's life. And
Hmm.
we tend to do, for example, what our grandma or our mother was doing
Yep.
without even thinking, why are we acting or speaking in certain way? And if that's actually our true feelings and true being, and is that actually coming from us,
Yeah.
or like I said, is it a pattern down the line from generation given from generation to generation?
And societal pattern. It's
Yes,
societal dictation. You've got to do this. You should do that. You should this. You are not popular.
yes,
You're not liked unless you have 1,000 likes. You're not anything worth unless you're a millionaire. You're not this. You're not that.
exactly.
And there's this expectation to try and live up to this facade. And it
Yes,
is
it's about
deeply,
all.
it is totally delusional. And it is completely robs you of the essence of who you are, right? Just to
Exactly.
please whom? And then even if you got there where they say you're acceptable, then the rats turn on you. You're not acceptable enough, and then it
Exactly.
becomes a vicious cycle. And that is not what we want for you. The abundance, enrichment of who you are, everything, the light of who you are is just inside of you, ready to be switched on. But you've got to connect. You've got to align and you've got to connect. That's really, really important. So, societal expectations are also, and family expectations, DNA expectations. First thing is recognize your pattern. I keep doing
Yes.
the same thing, expecting a different result. Ha ha ha. No, it ain't gonna happen.
We've all been there,
Been there, done
right?
that. Oh
Thinking
yeah.
why I keep bumping my head in
Yes.
that
And,
harsh
and you may
wall.
think you're doing it in a different way. I thought I was living a life different to my mother. Instead, I married my father. And I got the
Well,
same kind of man, right? And it's like,
well,
I thought I'd broken that cycle, but obviously not enough. And that's the thing
similar
is,
to you. I thought I was living a different life from my mother, and I married my mother in a man's
right. Mhm.
yes.
Yeah, yes, I know. And that is because psychologically, we've looked at it and go, I'm not going to do that. But
Yes.
cellularly, habitually within our cells, we haven't changed the coding.
Yes, yes. And there comes the work actually when we talk
Yeah,
about coding, understanding that there are different codes that we like learn behavior without realizing that we have repeatedly done that for so many years that we don't really know if it's ours or not. And then
exactly.
it's except these codes, they're also genes genetically. We're all connected with our
Yes.
grandma's womb. So we
Yeah.
came out from there and then came our mother. So all this tiny little cell is passing down from generations to generations, and people tend to think, "Oh, that was my grandma, or that was my great great grandma. That's not my life. I'm not connected." Well,
Hmm.
I'm sorry to disappoint you. You're very connected, and the
Yes.
more you know your roots, the more you know your ancestry, and the more you know about what kind of lives and what they encounter, whether they have been through war, through
Hmm.
terrible famine, through
Loss. Loss of,
scarcity,
yeah. Hmm.
the more you will know
Yeah.
how to process all of that, because it is been there, it's been lived by them. The thing that we don't know them doesn't mean that that information hasn't been passed to our cellular
I miss certainly
level.
past lives. I mean, back in 94, I had a woman who removed 150 lifetime patterns from me. And it was
Yes, I'm not
literally a
surprised.
weight. I had a brick wall in front of me all the time, and I couldn't understand. I couldn't get through it, over it, around it. What was this wall perpetually holding me back? And then
Yes.
she released these lifetimes, which was quite an extraordinary experience. And then afterwards, I felt so much lighter. There was no wall there, but it was a total discovery of who am I? Who am I now? Because I'm not 152 lifetime patterns, only to find out I at the core of who I am and what I'm here to do on this planet has been the same
Yes.
thread through all the lifetimes. I'm a heart and soul awakener. That's what I've always been here to do. But
Yes.
then I saw somebody else who went deeper into cellular healing to heal
Okay.
my body. And she said, there's at least 50 lifetimes here of poverty, a vow of poverty, and
Yes.
at least 50 lifetimes of persecution for being a
Yes.
spiritual person, burnt at the stake, torn and quartered, dunked, you name it, right?
Yes.
The whole
Yeah,
tutti frutti.
we've all been there, right?
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And it's like, although those lifetimes, they were surface lifetimes that were ready to be released, these other ones kind of hid darker and deeper. And
Yes. Yes.
and
They
its
tend to
own
be in layers, don't
Yeah,
they?
they
Yeah.
are on cellular layers needing to come up, and this kind of came up ready to go. And it's this lifetime for me was the permission to step into my spirituality without persecution, right?
Amazing.
And
That's
only kind of,
amazing.
I've always been this way, but it's only really in the last, I don't know, say less than 20 years that I've actually been able to be 100% me without, I mean, I still get the people, you know, she's
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
crazy. I'm always
We
going
have,
to get that. But
we've
um,
all, I think we've all had
yeah,
those kind of people, but I
but
mean,
we're in the right
it doesn't
era
matter.
because frequency and vibrationally, the consciousness is turned up, the vibration is turned up, and it's
Yes,
allowed all whatever healer you are, whatever awakener you are, to come now to the forefront and be the healing that the world needs, that humans need, because this is the time now for the awakening, which is such a relief because no more persecution, no more burned at the stake. Thank you, right?
exactly. We
and it
we
and it's
all,
the time to be it, and that's the thing. This is safe time to wake up.
yes,
It
yes,
is.
yes. And it's such an amazing opportunity. And this week, I'm so glad to be here on the show. And just to tell you that actually, we know all that we are going through an ascension process at the moment. And a lot of people are coming off with lots of symptoms,
Mm,
unexplainable aches,
yes.
unexplainable symptoms from years ago coming up, or something else happening, and they cannot explain to themselves how is happening, what's the connection between food and how the body feels, and
Mm,
what's the connection. We know that there are so many people still allowing themselves to eat meat, and they don't
mhm.
understand that actually eating meat is like eating the fear the moment that
Yes.
animal
Yes.
was
Absolutely. I
prepared
say
to be
that all
put
the
on your
time.
plate.
Yeah. Yeah. You're eating the trauma.
Yes,
You're
and
eating the
we're living
despair
in
and the
that
fear.
biblical times at the moment where lots of people are still not awakened, and they don't understand what is really going on. So
Mm.
I believe that people like me and you are here not just to awaken, but somehow show
Redirect.
them, yes, the
Redirect
way,
them. Yeah.
redirect. I love the word redirect. Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't think about it.
You
Yes,
know, I have had four border collies, and I think I know why I had that breed. You know, I'm
yes,
kind of there nipping at people's heels to redirect, you know,
yes, yes.
hurting them in the
Fantastic
right
word.
direction. All right. And that's the thing. We're
Yes,
here to show them that there is a different path. They're a different person inside. They're waiting
yes,
to kind of be reborn and take this new direction of really who they're meant to be in a heightened consciousness. And if we you know, the thing about love, which I think is one of the highest consciousness you can have, you can't knowingly hurt anyone else. To do so is to hurt
yes.
yourself, right?
Exactly,
And
exactly. I
and when
recently
you
had
heal the heart with love, all right, bind it together with love, love of self, because you've got to have love of self in order to share that love with everyone else, right?
yes, yes, you're so right. I recently had a client who was telling me how bad situation he had because another person has harmed him, and he was owing him nearly 12,000 pounds, and how he's really very angry with him and how he wants to do him harm. I literally turned around and said, be careful what you do, because what you do is like you do it to yourself.
Exactly. Exactly.
You will have to deal with the,
Revenge only hurts you, right?
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Retaliation hurts you. You know, let karma take care of it. You know, and when people say, well, don't you want to respond to retaliate? My response is that, thank you,
Yeah,
I'm not here to receive that.
yeah,
Right?
God will deal with them
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah, exactly. Their
Yes,
karma will come. You know, it's like
yes,
when my ex-husband used to try coming at me with his anger, I'd say, please take it up with the mirror. That's the only one that's interested. I wasn't
yes.
interested, right? So, and that's the thing is that we don't have to take it on, and through your internal growth and healing, you're going to have people that will criticize you, people that will try hold you back, even some people
Exactly.
that would disconnect from you. As heartbreaking as it can be, let them go. They're on their journey. You're on your
Yeah,
journey, and you must honor your journey.
yeah, that's the truth, actually. It is the truth because it can be heartbreaking to see people disappearing from your life, or just not understanding and criticizing you, and coming with that anger, coming with that negativity, just because you are not the person that you used to be, just
Mhm.
because you chose to be the light worker, you chose to serve, you
Yeah.
chose to have that mission that is actually your mission, and you found it and you're thriving, and some people don't like people thriving.
No.
They're actually really annoyed by the light.
Exactly. It's too bright.
Yeah.
You'll get
Yeah,
used to
yeah.
it. You'll get used to it, definitely. Um,
Yes,
you know,
yes.
I'm sure you went through something like this, but I went through 8 years of being kind of shut off from myself because I was living in trauma. And one of the ways to do it was just live kind of the human facade, and I shut my psyche, my heart and soul off to protect myself because it was under attack. And you know, I kept seeing the light there. Go to the light, Sarah. Come on, come back out. And it's like, no, I'm not ready. And then eventually I was. And when I first came out, the light was blinding and it was a lot of light, and I felt the shadows chasing me. Right. And then the more and more you get used to the light, the more and more the shadows chase away. But you also realize that certain shadows are a contour of life. And the thing is to be able to go back into the dark and be the light in the dark, not afraid of the dark. Whoop, there we go. Right. Not afraid of the dark. Um, not letting the darkness consume you, but let it be a place of peace because you are the light in the dark. And that is just that willingness to awaken and go through that journey. Okay, we got it back, folks. We froze there for a second, but you know, that was a pause for the moment, right?
Yeah.
Have you
Okay.
had any kind of experience like that at all? You know, along the way, was there something that kind of brought you back or became your epiphany?
I've had so many experiences from the last 25 years
Hmm.
that I can say that my everyday life has been an experience.
Hmm.
And when it comes to really talking about experience and how you deal with things, I can say that there's been stages in my life where I didn't know why I was born here, and why would I be alive if there is so much pain that I have to bear it?
Ah, yes, yes. Mm,
Then there was a time when I just did and put so much effort, and it seemed like everybody else is getting it easy,
hmm.
but it was never meant for me, and
Right.
it would never happen to me. You
Hmm.
know that kind of mindset, right?
Hmm.
When you're through an extensive amount of difficulties. But then you keep going and you keep going, and you're actually not strong during that time. You're very weak. I have
Hmm.
to say, you're vulnerable. You
Hmm.
are going through intense emotions that you don't know how to deal with. I have been through so much powerful emotions like um, hysteria, like deep anger. I've had the deep resentment even from how things have turned in my life and what have I done to deserve it, right?
Yes.
That feeling of revenge as well because of the pain,
Hmm.
that feeling of being isolated and abandoned. And these are strong feelings altogether to deal with. And then that's why I'm saying it's been an everyday struggle. And when it comes to an experiences like that, there was an experience in my life when I was a student. I used to be a student in an international faculty in the country of Greece. It was an English university, actually, in the town of Thessaloniki. And I remember this was one of the best years of my life. But at the age of 24, I had to encounter um, a really, really hard situation where I was um, poisoned by somebody. They put something into my drink. And 2 days later, I felt the life force leaving my body.
Mm.
And then it was an experience where it was a matter of hours to save my life. And I can say that the spirit work to warn you. It is us that we need to listen
Hmm.
because we are life beings, as well as the planet Earth, a life being.
Hmm.
Nothing is set in stone, everything is moving because we are all breathing.
Hmm.
And when it comes to how I have lived through everything that has happened through my life, later on in a stage, I've gone through a near-death experience in that situation, because a couple of hours later, the doctors were saying that they don't know what they've put in my drink. And I literally can say about the psychic wounding that this caused was tremendous. Because not only it was a drink, it affected all areas of my life. Relationship, studies, emotion, everything. It sets you for a hard road. And the way to getting out of it is through a fight. But it's not a literal fight. It's a fight for your life. And although you don't see the light while you're fighting and why certain things happen to you, you actually don't want to even live, because you don't see anything that you could actually, find this, like some sense, some logical sense of existence. Why would you just exist in that way, right? In many occasions, after this near-death experience, I have had other experiences that you mentioned in the beginning of the call, where I would just sit with myself and think, okay, I haven't had an easy life. And it was not easy for me because I had no idea why I don't deserve to have an easy life, where other people seem to have it all together. Or everybody around me, and I had people leaving me all the time. I had friendships from 10 or 15 years and people telling me, oh, okay, I don't want to be your friend anymore. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just, just like that after 15 years of friendship. And it can hurt you. It can hurt your soul. It can hurt the way you view yourself. It can hurt your reality. It can hurt you in many levels. But then I just had to accept that and admit to myself, they have a right to say that. They have a right not to be with you because they choose. They're free to choose as you're free to choose as well. So I can say that after that experience, it was a life-changing experience, because I never imagined that being at the age of 24, I would have to deal with things that usually people that are, let's say, in their 50s, 60s, or 70s have not even lived through. I just had to accept it at the age of 24, that this is what happened. I wouldn't say it was easy. It was not easy for me to accept what has happened, and that I could have prevented it if I have been educated at home, or if somebody warned me what kind of people are out there. Just because I was quite naive, I would say, to believe that all people are good.
Yes, we know evidence that that is not so. And basically, there are some very bad people out there, and that is because they are actually completely and utterly switched off from their higher consciousness. They are not in heart, they're not in soul, and they're just humanoid people living, either in apathy or constant anger. And if they're not willing to ignite their heart and soul, open up their heart to receive their soul wisdom, they're never going to be actually able to evolve to that higher level. And that might be this lifetime's journey for them, right? And the next time round, they'll have to rise up, but we don't know why and what happens to us. I've myself, I'm 69, so I've gone through a few roller coasters myself in life, and it's like you get to a point where, for me, if I'm not in purpose, I'm the lost soul. I have to be in purpose. If I'm in purpose, I can deal with anything, and I might get frustrated or upset or down, but I spend the emotion and then I get on with it, right? Because I know that I was given a hard path, but I had to prove my worth to, to step into that higher consciousness in truth, in commitment, in true purpose, for me to be able to do what I do. And we can't dabble in it. We have to immerse ourselves into it. And we will lose people along the way because they realize that your consciousness is rising and it's not where theirs is. And so they feel uncomfortable. So they let you go. And this is, yes, it can hurt, but at the same time, it happened with me with family. But now I have a sister that doesn't get what I do. Doesn't get what I do. She once called me a communist do-gooder, which I, kind of trying to work that one out. It's laughable. But what we do is we found a channel that we can communicate on because
Oh,
her world and my world are chalk and cheese, totally
there's a
different.
discrepancy between them. I actually, yeah,
Total.
definitely.
But we found a channel we can operate on. And as long as we
Hmm.
stay in that channel, we can find laughter, we can find joy, we can find love, right? I can be myself in that channel in a cohesive vibration with her, but I can't be in her other channel because
Yeah, I
it's
understand.
too disruptive for me. And it's like
Yes.
we can still have people we love and care for in our life if we find that avenue that we can ride with them. Don't expect them to know everything about your world. It's still too far out of reach for them. Yet they
Yes.
like being around you and they don't know why. So it's opening up that
There you go.
avenue where they can come and play with you without actually understanding why, because they're benefiting from it, right? And
Yes.
so
Yes.
yes, it's a lonely world being a soul awakener. It is a lonely world unless you're around other soul awakeners. And then,
Unless you are, yeah.
then you're in that village, you're in that camaraderie, you can speak the language, you can be the person. And then that is, they get you, they understand. I've just written my memoir and somebody bought it and read it, and the comments that she made from it made me feel you truly got me. You truly got me.
Oh,
Now,
wow.
I may not get anybody else to buy a book, and maybe nobody else will read it or leave a comment, but that one, because she got me, was that satisfactory enough, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
that's it.
Yes. I can.
And I think that's important is that we go through the struggles a lot of the time so we can relate with people going through struggles. If we don't have a struggle and it's all easy, how can we understand what people are going through? Because we
We
understand
can't
what they're
actually.
going through, we have the empathy and the understanding, but we also know what they need.
Yes. And I believe, like, as intuitive, we have that natural, as a natural healer that I am, I have that natural empathy for people, and I can put myself instantly in a split second in their shoes and what they're going through, because I don't have to put an effort. I already
Yeah,
know.
yeah. And that was the reason you had to
And
go through what you went through, right?
yes, yes. And it's very comforting when you have somebody to guide you. It's
Mm,
very nice to have somebody to show you the way, to have a mentor, to have a, if you can put it, a teacher, a helper, somebody guiding you through the way and showing you that you can actually go through this. And I believe this is the purpose of us as human beings, to help each other, because we are not, we're not set in stone, and nobody has a guarantee for anything.
no.
We have our heart and we have our soul, and we're here to distribute. We're here to live a human experience where we need to get the most out of it and deliver what we've learned to the next generation, to the people around. I had a very big struggle around this idea to open my heart towards other people and give as a natural giver,
Hmm.
because you tend to get really tired of
Yes,
just providing this, giving that, always giving. And there needs to be an equilibrium between giving and receiving. But I
yes.
understood that actually the happiness
Hmm.
comes in giving, out of giving, of sharing,
Yes.
of giving support, of giving understanding, of giving that natural
Mm,
human um, things that we tend sometimes to think that, oh, if I'm going to do that, they're going to use it or they're going to take it. Or no. There is
mhm,
nothing like that. Nothing like that. When you know from your heart that you are giving just because of the sake of giving,
mhm,
without any um, second thought why you're
mhm,
doing that action, just from your heart, you not only you get the satisfaction, but you understand deep down within your soul that that experiences that you had build you, but they're building the character within you, and they're building later a society of people then a community. That community is building up a whole nation, a whole country, and then that's how we're all connected into the world, like you say, in a soul tribe with our soul tribe people. And then it's not that lonely.
No.
It's actually a beautiful world to live in.
Oh, absolutely. And it's every time you help somebody ignite their heart and soul and start their healing, their energy signature has risen, and that becomes a part
Yes,
of your generator, right? The
yes,
more energies
yes,
that we see rise, the more everybody rises along with it, because it just as negativity can spread like a virus,
yes,
so can
yes,
the love
it can.
vibration. And when you're in that love vibration and it rises up, it raises somebody else up and somebody else up and somebody else up, and it just starts crescendoing out there, which is beautiful. So, you give, your receiving of what you're giving is knowing that you've ignited that beautiful energy into being. And it's a part of that collective energy out there that keeps on growing, which is wonderful and so
In that
much
sense,
needed in this world.
in that sense of thought, Sarah, I just wanted to mention that actually on a heart level, I literally experienced some heart emotional ache
Hmm.
out of just being overloaded, let's say, with things.
Yes.
And I experienced that kind of love when you just do a simple thing like hugging.
Hmm. Hmm.
And I did hug actually my child, and then I felt that green calmness and energy coming through within me from his heart to my heart. And this is a very deep and personal experience, but I can say that it was a healing through love.
Yeah.
For the first time as a healer, I can say you that it was not intentional through a session or anything else, but it was just pure love.
Yeah.
Pure
Yeah.
love really can heal as long as we are open to it, if we're open to love.
Mm. Open to love. And when you have a child, and especially, when you have a child that's in trouble, um, yes, there's the human anxiety around it, but when you step into trust and love, right, it's in your loving hands, right? And I'm just going to
Yes,
make sure that that channel of love from you, through me to him is open, and
yes,
let it
yes.
pour in, right? And it will be what it be. And there are some children that are born to only be a bright light for a short time and then leave, right? And
Mm,
it's, they know. That's the thing. They know I'm only here for a short time. I'm here
mm,
on a mission, right? And they
mhm,
know. But
mhm.
for others, it's a part of their journey of something they had to face in order
Yeah,
for them to open up and be strengthened by it. So we
yes,
can't deny those experiences of what our children are going to go through. All we can do is open up those channels and say, get them through it. Please
yes,
get them
yeah,
through it.
yes,
And
yes,
they
exactly.
will become what they're meant to become with the more loving experiences that they have. If they know that
That
love is the cure, that loving divine energy is the cure, then they will
it
always
actually
seek
is.
out that cure.
Maybe we will sound for some of our listeners a bit too optimistic, but indeed, love is the cure.
It
I
is.
used to not be able to understand that word and
Hmm.
how to really incorporate that love in the everyday life. But in reality, yes, love is the real cure, and it's available. It's available for everyone.
I think, what happens is the disconnect from my human and spiritual self. I've always trusted my spiritual beingness because it's the knowingness. It's what I need to know when I need to know it. And it was always there for
Yes,
me. What I had a difficulty was bringing that knowingness to the human side of things, because the human was trying to fit in, trying to please
yes,
everybody, trying to be
yes,
what everybody else expected her to be.
yes,
And when she kind of got, I've given up. I'm just going to be me. And then the spirit and my human self came together and strengthened. And now that trust in who I am, when I am, what I am meant to do, and it doesn't matter if you see, feel me or not, I have
yes,
to be true to who I am, is strong and
yes,
connected. So it was
yes.
only when I connected the two together, but when I didn't connect the two together, I was flapping in the wind.
Yeah, yeah, it is actually like that because when you're connected within your heart and within your soul, you just know, like you say, you just know.
Yeah.
And the more connected you are, the more strength you can actually exercise in your life and be available for other people and really thrive.
Now, for someone to come to you, there has to be, and then it's the spiritual code. People don't understand this, but there has to be free will. You can't help
Yes.
anyone until they're ready to help themselves. You're there to
Okay.
assist them in their own self-discovery, in their own
Yes,
ignition of the
indeed.
heart and soul. You just have the skills and the tools to show them how to open up, download, and what to do with it. So it is that free will, right? But say somebody is ready who's listened to this conversation today, and they want to reach out to you. What is your procedure? How do you work with people?
Basically, they book a discovery call with me. In this discovery call, we just have a normal conversation just to see if we're a good fit and what is the issue that we would like to work on currently. Because you see, we are work in progress. We might want to work on one thing today, and it can change in a week because of what is happening to us.
Yeah.
Right? So different people have different things happening to them and different things that they would like to work on. That's what we do in our discovery calls. We just have a conversation, simple, like we do at the moment. We just discover what is the issue, what they would like to do, and if we're a good fit, because we always ask God if we have a permission to work together.
Yeah.
It's not like us or like us, the healers, deciding who are we going to cure and who's not going to be cured. It doesn't work like that. Because
Now, is your vibration
vessels.
right for this person? Because
Yes.
your vibration could be wrong for that person and do more harm than good.
Yes.
So is your vibration right for this person, and are they open and ready to receive what it is, the frequency that you're on?
Yes. I can say that I don't use the word vibration, although I like that word. I love that word. I don't use it because I think that whoever comes, he must feel comfortable first with the healer opposite, and then he must be able to give that trust. So that's why we have this discovery call where we discover whether we are a good fit. And then I have people who are going through different hardships. Let's say they have just lost their job, which was let's say a high profile job where they were really well paid, or they have had an end of a relationship and they don't know how to take care of themselves at the moment. Basically, they have different needs. And this is where I work one-on-one in my program called Build Yourself Back Up. It's a program that lasts around 3 months in their timing, into sessions that are available for them when they need. There is no pressure because healing is not in timing and setting up sessions in that time, in that specific container. I really would like to say that there are many healers, and no offense, I would like to say that somebody's working in this way or in another way, but with our healing, it's in divine timing. So we set up the goal, what is their need, and I really can help them with my gifts and talents. And if they have a medical condition, then we assess the body, we see what's the difficulties, what is wrong. We have an amazing supernatural product which is assessing a lot of the diseases as well. So we are all going through the natural way before reaching the traditional surgical approach.
Yeah. Yeah. You
Because
can
there
work
is
with people,
always,
well, you can work with people online or in person. How do you work with people?
yes, I actually do in person here in UK where I'm at, and I do online sessions with basically people from all over the world in a timing that is suitable for them. And most of my sessions happen actually online. Doesn't matter, sometimes people might be from here, but let's say they're from a different city and they can't travel 3 hours to get to me. So actually the healing happens through a distance by distance. I also have healing hands. Sometimes I lay on people when they have certain complaints. So it really depends on what we're dealing with and the approach that we're going to take in terms of the personal preference.
Mm-hmm. And you know, people think, well, how can you help people, you know, through Zoom or long distance? And it's like energy can go anywhere from anywhere, right? It
I used
doesn't
to be
have
one of those
boundaries.
people.
Yeah. It doesn't need to open doors or anything else. You know, the energy that you exude out is what the energy people pick up, and the energy that you ignited, it doesn't have, you know, where you need to be in person. Of course, if you're in person, then that's absolutely great because then you may have had the hands-on experience, but it doesn't have to be. And that's the thing is it's the same like when you hear a piece of music and it lifts you up and it puts you on a different frequency. You know, the reason I use
Yes.
vibrational, I'm a 60s kid, so you know, good vibrations, Beach Boys, right? So it's all about those good vibrations, and it's getting into that frequency. And when uh, when you're talking with someone, you kind of get, yeah, I feel we're on the same vibe, or we're on the
Yes.
same
Yes.
frequency, right? Then
Yes.
you know that you're connecting with them, and that's the important thing. So it doesn't matter how you do it, that frequency will be connected or not, and you will know through that first call.
I will not know definitely through that first call, but as a medical intuitive and a healer,
Mm-hmm.
I can say that I used to think like you. How is gonna somebody heal me through a distance
Mm-hmm.
from the other side of the computer? I used to really, really doubt that.
Right.
And I myself, I'm a healer,
Yeah.
and I really did not trust that. But after I have become a medical intuitive and gone through the series of sessions and healings myself,
Mm-hmm.
I can assure you it does work
Oh,
because I'm
yes,
proof of that. I
absolutely.
am the real walking proof. I'm the walking proof of everything that I'm talking about. And that's why I'm actually um, saying that it's available for people, because it's very nice to have somebody who can give you that direction and that hope
Yeah.
that you can really get all right.
Yeah.
That is a way for you, that there is a reason for you to fight and continue being and start dreaming and achieve that healthy life. Because you know, nobody loves to live in pain. It's
No.
terrible when people are in pain. And there
Yes.
are lots of people in different ages, in different circumstances, going through lots of life challenges and circumstances. And I believe that not just eating healthy, but changing our vibrational thoughts and the way we experience life is detrimental at this very moment.
Well, the advantage of, you know, first address,
Epochal and
mm,
biblical times.
mm, addressing the psyche,
Yeah,
you
sorry.
know, the attitude of life, right? The gratitude of
Yeah,
attitude of life, of looking at
yes,
where is my mind at? Because if the mind is
yes,
blocking, if the mind is resistant, then it's not going to allow, you know, it's the gatekeeper. Well, I don't believe it. Right? How does it happen?
yes,
I'm naysaying. Well, it's the gatekeeper to everything else, and your body and your psyche is screaming for you to open the door. So when we have an
yes,
open mind, I don't understand what's going on, but I'm willing to surrender and allow, right? And then the psyche can come in and go, phew, now I can get to work and start changing perspectives and changing the way we see things. And then you start actually feeling it, you know, your life starts changing, and everybody kind of expects the lightning bolt. No, it's subtle changes. It's little
yes,
things, and
it's subtle
you know the
changes.
changes are working is when you're put to the test. When you're put in a
Yes,
situation of anger, or put in the situation of frustration, or put in the situation of anxiety, and you find that you can cope with it on a totally different level, or you're feeling healthier than you did a week or two ago. But, you know, I kind of didn't notice the changes, but right now I'm really noticing the change. And it's patience and persistence, right?
yes,
And
indeed.
opening up that mind's door in order to let everything else in.
It's very important to open that psyche, like you say, because if we have a wounding there,
Mm.
out of life situations, of course, we can really live a very restricted
Yes.
way of life.
Limited.
or a certain limited
Yeah.
way of life. And it's very important to open that door. Like you say, even if we don't understand what's happening, how it's going to happen, but just be open to it and try new ways of doing things, or just one simple thing per day, or just changing the habit of what we eat in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm there as well to show the way how through the medical practice and through the medical products, what we do and how we change that. So if somebody like me could do it, where I have had 20 years of really, really challenging times, why wouldn't somebody who, let's say had less of those challenges, wouldn't be able to do it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't see any hindrance. I don't see
Yeah.
anything stopping anyone from achieving what they desire.
It's the willingness. It's the
The
willingness. You know,
willingness.
it's like when people are, I've had enough. I just don't want to live like this anymore. There's got to be something different. Now you've stepped into
That's
the
it.
awareness that there's something different. Now your mind opens up. Okay, what is it that I need? And the thing is that you don't have to be a medical person to understand that the body is telling you what's wrong. Because as a medical intuitive, the body tells you what's wrong. All you're doing, what happens is we're fluid creatures. Our blood and our oxygen and our water in our body constantly has to be in flow. If it stagnates or comes to a stop, it's blocked chi, blocked energy. That's when things start breaking down. So what you're doing is you're seeing where the blockage is, right? And you're
Exactly. Yes.
releasing the energy around that blockage,
Yes.
allowing
Yes.
things to go back into flow because when it's in flow, the body knows how to heal itself. You're
Oh
just
yes. Actually,
releasing the,
I
the
I keep
blockage.
I keep saying that, Sarah. Thank you for putting that straight into the conversation, because I love to say that the body heals itself. We're
Yes.
just like you said in the beginning, the instrument and the tools, and it's very important to have that instrument and the tools at the right time when you
Yeah.
need them.
Yeah.
Not to spend 5 years on your own looking at YouTube videos, doing whatsoever, what everyone else is doing. Well, what everyone else is doing might not be your way, and it will
Mm,
definitely uh, not be individual to you, because you can't put a person, we're all individual DNA, into a frame.
mm-hmm.
We are not some, chicken production or something
Mm-hmm.
by a number. We are human beings, and each one of us have a different identity, different thought patterns, different experiences,
Mm-hmm.
let's say different ideas about life and how we experience life. Where
Yes.
our love language is different, the
Mm-hmm.
way we look at ourselves, the way we perceive ourselves, the way we talk, or what we are dealing with at a certain moment of time, doesn't mean that it's going, like I like to say, it's going to be like that forever. Although at the time, it might feel it's going to be like that forever.
Exactly. And you know what I love about the title of your site, Faithful Living. You know, it
Yes,
is it is a faith. And it's a faith to the point that you are in trust. You are in alignment with the divine, and whichever way you wish to see it, you are allowing it to come through you to give you the wisdom that's needed, that resonates with the heart, lifts the spirit into action, mind to know what it needs to know. You are in trust. And that when you step into that life of faithful living, it means that you are always in partnership with the universal wisdom. It is always there to guide you. It's your compass. It shows you what you need to know when you need to know and where to go. And your heart gets so excited about it. It doesn't have to define or justify or verify. It just is yes. And the spirit goes, good. Yes, let's do it. And then you extract from the mind all the knowledge it needs in order to get it done. And then you go, gosh, look what we just did. It's great.
exactly. This reminds me of how Faithful Living project was created. It was a time of my life when I had to set the new foundations coming to live in UK. I set myself a goal that I'm going to heal myself,
Mhm.
no matter what. 10 years down the line, I've been through all of it, nutrition, all kinds of sessions, like breathing exercises, yoga, you name it. You really name it. I really like these things, because this nourishes your soul. It nourishes your heart,
Mhm.
most of all. But also, if you're struggling with lots of things that are unresolved, you just don't
Yeah.
know where to start.
Yeah,
There is a
exactly.
nice class over there. There is a nice session over there. This is, and then you become really not centered. You
Hmm.
don't know where to go, what to do, why you're doing this, is that good for you, is this applicable for you, is this going to heal your, let's say, endometriosis, is going to heal your Hashimoto. So that again together comes back to the faith first that you have in yourself and being able to heal. Then I connected with the faith as a Christian, as a real Christian and follower and having the connection with God. I can say that it's the best and the most healing connection we can have as beings, because when we are not here alone, and all the human experiences that we have are here to build our character, to teach us an experience, to give us that understanding that we are deeper and we are here to know who we are. And we're living in this moment of time today and yesterday, and from a couple of months in that time where finally we have come here to become who we are and to show to that the other people, to the other to everyone, because we are coming from different celestial origins.
Yes.
And we are different beings, but we are here to have that, like you say, experience. It's just a human experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in that project, that's why I have it dear and near to my heart, because it teaches people to go back to the faith. And when I say faith, I am saying that with a very conscious mind, because when you have faith, you know that, like me, when I was at the back of one bus thinking to God, why I'm going through so much difficulties? Why is my life there like that? Why do I have to go work so many hours and then it's not enough and this and that? When you're struggling, then I knew there is a purpose. God told me this. There is a purpose why you're going through this. There is a deeper purpose. You wouldn't be, because I thought at that moment, I'm just giving up. I can't anymore, like you said. But I thought I was going to literally die. I was so exhausted, literally. I said, God, is there any purpose into me going through that struggle? Did you make me to live that life? I know there is a purpose for me to go through that. And then he said, yes, there is. And you just have to keep that faith and that persistence, because we don't know what God has a plan for all of us.
Yes.
We just don't know what it is. But we have to walk the way.
And we will be found and we will find, right? That's
exactly. We find that, and we find it, then our soul starts to thrive. We start to see changes in many people's life. We start to see changes around us. We start to see changes in our circumstances. This is what we're living for that deep faith within ourselves, that we are actually creating our reality. We are creating everything that's happening around us, with our family, with everything, and it's through God, because it's not through us. If we depend on us, we're weak.
We are weak. We need that strength. We need that core strength, that core wisdom, that core knowledge, that generator of love. We need all of that in order to truly understand our position here and what we're here to do. And we're actually here to we're here to evolve. We're here to evolve, and we can't do it on our own.
Nobody's so powerful that they can know what's going to happen tomorrow and what. No, we have to know that the greatest power is the universe, and each one of us creates the experiences in the universe.
We've with the human intellect, we've stepped into incredible technologies, and we've developed things that our consciousness doesn't know how to handle. And this is where you must have the soul heart alignment to actually understand what to do with that technology. Otherwise, it will be used unwisely rather than wisely. And, we've been so busy coming from the intellect and the ego that we've lost connection with the heart and the soul and the spirit. And if we can come back to that God presence, again, whatever you wish to call it, universal presence, whatever, that connection to that divine, then okay, now I understand why that's there, how to use it. It's a tool for me to embed lives, not for me to use to lord over. And that consciousness will always lead you right completely. So, and have faith,
right? To the point.
Have faith.
Right to the point.
Yeah. Use faith in your living, whatever kind of faith it is. You know, that's your personal choice. You know
Exactly.
when you're connected. It's just get plugged in, please. Open up those channels. Let it
Yeah,
open up your heart. Let your spirit get
that's right.
excited. Feel that generator of love. Feel that compass of knowingness. When somebody says you've got to do something and your whole compass says, no, I don't. And an opportunity gets presented to you, and you go, the mind says it's a great opportunity, but the core value
Mm,
of myself says, no, it isn't. And so listen to yourself. It's your compass. It will always guide you right. But we've got to tune in order to live more productively and harmoniously out. That is the important thing. And we have to heal ourselves in order to ignite ourselves to step into that beautiful, loving frequency.
exactly. Exactly.
So how do people get hold of you? They want to book that call with you to have that chat and sign up for whichever program. How do they get hold of you, love?
Um, they can definitely contact me through booking a session or booking a call with me. They can leave a message on the website. They basically sometimes also leave me messages on the cellular phone when they want to book calls with me or ask certain questions. I usually have workshops announcements as well. For the time being, they're stopped until March, but from March onwards, we will announce them on the website as well. Basically, it's either in live sessions in the healing studio or through booking an online sessions with me.
Excellent. And what is the link, love? What is the link?
Ah, it is faithful-living.com is the website.
Faithful-living.com. Uh,
Living.com, yes.
and you're also faithful to be fruitful on Facebook. And
Yes.
you have an email. Do you want to give that out, or do you prefer people to go through your site?
Yes, sure. It is info at faithfulliving.com.
Excellent. And so, just go and book a call. Just, start the conversation. If is this a right fit, and there is no one size fits all. You must be with somebody where you feel there's a connection, because when that connection is ignited, then you're open to receive and they're able to give you. You can't give somebody who's not open to receive. So that frequency channel must be open. So just book a call, take a look at what she's got, maybe start taking some of the programs, but please invest in yourself. Nobody is going to just hand you a downloadable app or an Amazon something to fix you. This is your choice. This is what you have to do. But people are here to assist you, like Irina. She's here to help you ignite yourself, switch everything on, get everything in flow so that you are in the right frequency and moving forward in your life to become the awesome person that you're meant to become. So thank you so much for sharing with us today, Irina.
Thank you so much, Sarah. It was a lovely conversation and it was such a delightful evening to share with you.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for sharing. And folks, that's really quite simply what it's all about. It is about allowing ourselves to come and rise up to that beautiful higher consciousness, to tap in order to understand who and why we're here, what our purpose is, so we can go out and be. So until next time, folks, bye for now. We hope that you enjoyed the show. There are so many more for you here on selfdiscoverywisdom.com. Just go to the podcast tag at the top there and you will see all the many genres and all 3,000 shows ready for your listening. We are here to serve you, to help you on your journey of life, and we know that through inspiration it begets invitation. We are supported by you, the listeners, and those that we interview. Anything that you can spare us in donation would be greatly accepted, and we do hope that you enjoy the next show.